Have you explored the use of like teleimmersion to bring more access to medicine in like rural areas, like you were saying, with geography being
Right.
a challenge?
I have, but I'm a researcher, so, and all that access, creating access in rural areas takes a bigger group than I have.
Hmm.
And at University of California, Davis Medical School, they had a relatively large program of getting some of this technology out to rural areas, but I somehow couldn't connect with them. So it didn't work out
Mm-hmm.
for me.
Right. But do you think that it has potential to be like implemented in rural areas?
Oh, absolutely, except that the problem I see is that the medical profession doesn't know enough about technology.
Hmm.
And they, of course, are quite conservative. And to some extent, you have to understand why they are. So, I mean, they feel they don't want any research-based technology because they want to have it proven, you know, the robustness of the technology.
Mm-hmm.
So they tend to lean towards more old-fashioned technology.
Mm.
And I, as a researcher, I'm interested in exploring new technologies.
Right.
So there is a little disconnect.
Mm-hmm. And how do you, I mean, I don't know, is there a solution to like bridge the disconnect? Is there anything?
No. I mean, I guess, you know, different people may find different ways. Some maybe in technology are not interested so much in the research of technology, so they might be more open to using all technologies in this actual application. So anyway, for myself, I give up on that.
Right. That's understandable. So the field of like artificial intelligence has been gaining a lot of traction in recent years. Would you say that there has been a change in like the attitudes towards technology since the beginning of your career? Have you seen like a difference?
Change in where?
Like people's attitudes towards technology. Like how are they receiving?
Well, it's generational, remember. Yes, I think people have got used to much more using at least some of the more accessible technologies like cell phones. You know, that became now quite accepted. Although I can tell you that for older people, even that technology is difficult to use. So I think it's all generational. As the younger people are coming into life, technology is being more acceptable and used.
So do you think like the public reception to like teleimmersion now versus say like when you started researching it, has that changed at all?
I remember teleimmersion has many different kind of connotations. So right now, many people are already using teleconferencing, video conferencing, which is it's sort of component of teleimmersion.
Right.
And people are using it because it's easy, accessible. People are talking, you know, at big distances through the video camera. So that's happening. In terms of the type of stuff that I did with the dancing,
Mm-hmm.
that's still far away.
Right.
That's still far away because there you really are trying to, you need all kinds of technological advancements. One of them is much broader bandwidth
Mm-hmm.
has to be. Secondly, you also need many more cameras in order to capture the movement of people, in order to transmit that,
Mm-hmm.
the interaction. And more importantly, in the medical area especially, the teleimmersion right now is very weak in tactile contact.
Okay.
Contact information, transmitting it over the bandwidth, so there's not enough bandwidth,
Mm-hmm.
so that's, you don't see that.
Right. Okay. And to what extent do you think that we will be able to model the human body using like AI? Because like your work deals with a lot of like physical movements, right? Like upper
Physical
body,
movement,
that sort of
yes,
thing.
yes.
And there are other people who are looking into like modeling the brain through like AI interfaces. So how far do you think that we could go? Do you think we could ever make like a
Well,
realistic?
I am not in any way to predict, you know, and make any predictions. It's hard to say,
Mm-hmm.
especially the brain part,
Mhm.
you know. It's hard to say. If anybody is telling you that we are on the verge of understanding the brain, they are lying.
Okay. But so, how far could it go, do you think?
I don't know.
You don't know.
I don't think we have devices that can measure, observe what's happening in your brain.
Mm-hmm.
So I think there's still a lot of work of just having some devices that can measure the activities. And right now it's very rudimentary,
Mm-hmm. Okay.
especially when it comes to cognitive aspects of the brain,
Right, definitely.
which are much more complicated than,
And how about in terms of the physical, like, aspects, more of the stuff that you research?
that is much more accessible.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that perhaps in 5 years we can be able to have on a course level,
Mm-hmm.
a model of how people move and what their strengths is. Because that's the key, you know. As you get older, your muscles are weaker, and,
Mm-hmm.
and that of course causes you falling and stability. And,
Right.
yeah.
Okay. And so why the emphasis on like robot and human collaboration? Because a lot of people are again worried that like robots will become too powerful. So would you say that the benefits of the collaboration outweigh the like fear?
Well, again, you know, every technology can be used for good and could be abused.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, robots can kill you, but the robots can also lift you and help you to feed you, and robots can do some good things. So there is no uniform answer for that.
Mm-hmm.
With any technology, for that matter,
Right.
can do good and bad.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
It's up to us to prevent the bad.
Right. And whose responsibility do you think that is? Is that like,
Everybody.
everyone?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's not just the scientists, but also the public.
Mm-hmm. But then how do we control that, you know? Like, once scientists develop a technology, how do they, like...
Well, there are many different vehicles to control that. Congress is one of them, okay, and all kinds of regulations and laws can be put in place, and also individual personal responsibility.
And so, when you're trying to model human systems with
Yes.
AI, what sort of mindset do you have? Because, like, there are a lot of possibilities, you know? So do you approach it with a mindset of, like, oh, anything is possible? Or do you have to narrow it down and be like, I only want to model, like, this specific behavior? Like, what guides your research?
Curiosity
Okay.
and what I know, what I can accomplish in 6 months, 12 months, 2 years, you know. You kind of gauge yourself based on what you know and what you think you can do, and then you try. But the research is not a straight line, you know. You go up and then down, and kind of it's a spiral.
Definitely. So, from all the research that you've done, what has been the most, like, rewarding impact that you've seen it have?
My students and their successes, that's my reward.
Okay. In what, like, for them?
Well, you know, they have discovered things that I only dreamt about. They create, they are professors, they are chief scientists, that they pursue some new research. So it's, remember, I have been in this business 50 years, so I have many students out there, and they are doing well, and they accomplish things, and that's my pleasure.
That's really sweet. And so, say, like, it's 10, 20 years into the future, where do you see the field having progressed?
I cannot predict.
Or what's your hope? Like, where do you hope that things will go from here?
What's my hope? Well, I do hope that we will develop some new sensors, new devices that will be able to look into your body without cutting you. I mean, you know, X-ray was a big advance.
Right.
It came from physics. Then came magnetic resonance in the 50s. That turned out to be very important. You know, people are working on these devices, how to look into your body without cutting you. But the resolution right now, both spatial and temporal, is still quite a bit to be desired. And so some new physics, chemistry has to be discovered.
Okay. All right. Well, I think that's all of my questions.
Good.
Thank you so much.
Okay. Good luck.
Thank you.
All right.